What's up, guys? It's your boy Tavares. What we're going to be doing here today is making salmon croquettes from scratch. Let's get into it. So what you're going to need is a piece of salmon, jalapeno pepper, red onion, yellow bell pepper, 2 eggs, black pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, and breadcrumbs. Let's jump into it. So what you want to do first is remove the skin from the salmon. I start at the end, at the tip of it, and I just make a small cut, and I just turn the knife, and I just go right up under it, and just try to leave the knife basically laying flat up against the skin, and it'll come right off with ease. You have to make sure you have to have a really sharp knife with this because the skin on salmon is like leather. It's really strong, really tough. So once you get that all done, the next step is you want to cut the salmon in about, I want to say 1/2 inch pieces. And once again, guys, you make sure you have a really sharp knife. This knife is from Cosini. They make really good knives. It's very sharp. Once you finish that step, you just want to go across the other way and cut them into cubes. While doing this, be very careful. You might want to keep your fingers out of the way of the blade. And again, using fresh salmon is best when making this recipe. So once you finish that step, you want to just start making chops. Just chop it all up until you get a consistency that basically looks like this. So what I'm gonna do next here is I'm just gonna take the ground salmon. I'm gonna just place it inside of a bowl. And I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in the refrigerator for about 15 to 20 minutes. So next you wanna start chopping your veggies. Here, I use jalapeno because I like the kick, that spicy flavor that it gives it. It's not too hot, it's kind of mild, and it goes really good with the rest of the vegetables. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up some red onions. Try and get them into some small pieces. You also want them to be smaller because you want them to not be so, I would say, rich inside of the salmon. You want them all spread it out evenly. So here next I'm gonna go ahead and chop up some yellow bell pepper. Now I love these. They taste very fresh. I used to eat them as a snack as a kid. And I just like to add that extra color to it, to the meal. And these are perfect for adding colors to meal. It makes it more attractive, more appealing. Once you get those all diced up and chopped up, um, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start the next step. So, what we're gonna do here is just grease the pan with a little bit of grapeseed oil. You can use any type of oil you want, coconut oil, vegetable oil, extra virgin olive oil, anything of your choice. You can even use butter if you'd like. So you're gonna go ahead and add those chopped veggies to that oil. You want it to start sizzling, get a little caramel brown, and just cook some of the flavors out of the veggies. So next I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. And the reason why I'm adding salt is gonna add a little bit of flavor to it. It's also gonna bring the moisture out of those vegetables. Next, I'm gonna add a little bit of balsamic vinaigrette. And you don't have to if you don't want to. I like the taste of it. So you're just gonna add maybe a tablespoon or maybe a capful of that, whatever you prefer. You don't have to add it if you don't want. And you're just gonna mix that in a little bit and let that cook down. It smells delicious, by the way. Yeah, so we're just gonna let that simmer on the stove for about 3 minutes. Okay, so I got the salmon out of the refrigerator. What I'm gonna do here is add an egg. I'm gonna add a little bit more salt, maybe a tablespoon of salt, teaspoon of salt, whatever you prefer. I'm gonna add maybe a tablespoon of black pepper. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of onion powder, I'm gonna say maybe a teaspoon of oregano, optional. And next we're gonna add the breadcrumbs. So we add the breadcrumbs and eggs just to keep the ground salmon together. It helps it form better, and we're just gonna go ahead and mix all those ingredients together. Make sure it's all mixed in nicely. Yeah, so now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead and add those veggies that I've been letting simmer on the stove for about 3 to 4 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and add all of that in, and it smells so good. It smells very fresh. You can have this meal anytime, but it's like a good meal for spring, a good summer meal, something nice and easy and very delicious. Just going to add all of that in. Make sure it's evenly spread. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pop it back into the refrigerator for about 5 or 10 minutes to let those flavors all soak in and let it set. So now it's time to make the actual patties. So what we're going to do here is first we're going to start by making balls. Just like you would make snowball. Just want to get them probably 3 inches in diameter. And again, the reason why I added eggs and breadcrumb is not only to add a little bit more flavor, but to keep the mixture together. Water also works well when you're trying to form these balls. It helps the patty not stick to your hands so much. And when you're finished, this is the outcome. So what we're gonna do here is just go ahead and flip them over and let them cook on the other side for another 3 to 4 minutes. And once we let that cook on the other side, this is the outcome. Delicious, flavorful salmon croquette. I hope you guys enjoy watching my video. I hope you guys enjoy the recipe and be on the lookout for more. Thanks for watching.